Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 180.
180.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
And it seems like they had a lot of signs, theme park signs in this week.
Right, not only theme parks, but the resorts. It's always interesting to see what kind of items that they have that you can never find anywhere else.
Well, there's plenty of air-conditioned showroom to look over these items, so we'll have to get over there again soon.
And Maple Leaf Tickets, they are our ticket agency, and they have great deals on tickets for attractions, the parks, and
Dinner
all kinds
shows,
of places.
all sorts
Absolutely.
of stuff like that. So we're going to start this week with more from Rivers of Light at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
And it was a beautiful day out. We were out there to see about the testing because we knew a few days earlier it had started, and there was way more than we thought was going to be there.
Yeah, we thought maybe there would be one of these floats or maybe two, but every float was out, plus there were some bonus things that you'll see very soon. But before we get into that, why don't you tell us what do we know so far about Rivers of Light?
Well, it's still scheduled to open on April 22nd, which is Earth Day, and that's, of course, the day that Animal Kingdom itself opened. Nothing has been announced as far as hours, dining packages, Fast Pass. So you're looking at like a little over 3 weeks. And I mean, it's really kind of getting down to the wire. Anytime like Disney Parks Online write something, like people, it doesn't matter what what they're writing about. You know, the guests will be like, well, when will I know about this? So I hope it will still open on April 22nd. It's just kind of really getting down to the wire. And I hope those seats behind them, and these aren't seats right here, will be more comfortable than they look.
I agree with that part.
But also, some of these floats are huge, and I think it's hard to tell how big they really are.
Well, look, you can see they're all moving. As you watch this video, everyone is doing movement testing, and they go pretty quick. And remember, this is a nighttime show, so all of them will be illuminated and with different colors and things. So it's not like this. When you see it, it'll be much more spectacular.
Right, and this is supposed to be an ancient lantern festival. And these are animal spirit guides. I don't really know what that means. I know you tried to explain me.
They do look like lanterns. They look like lanterns.
Right.
And I've talked to a cast member since I had given my thoughts about the show last week. And it is a celebration of life. Not about the animals' deaths.
Well,
a celebration of life.
They haven't really said that
with
much
the spirits,
yet about it.
kind of like Mufasa up in the sky with the Aurora Borealis. I don't think it made sense again.
I know you.
Every
keep
time I
making
explain it,
stuff up.
I can't explain it.
So anyway, we're gonna. Okay, the largest one is 15 feet tall by 30 feet long, which to me, like, they don't look that big. And here we're going to have 2 lantern vessels. And these will be, I guess it's almost like you're 2 sides of the show, which it's hard to understand fully because they really haven't shown much about it yet. They did the little webcast and all.
Well, in the webcast, they did mention that the show is really mainly meant to be seen from the seating area. So you can't just sit in the back or on the sides and get a good view of the show.
The concrete, it's like you have concrete seats and it almost looks like benches up there. So
well, the leather seats are coming in. Perhaps those leather seats are they just haven't
Massage
installed
chairs.
those yet. They haven't been put in.
I know, probably
Don't speak too soon.
I think we should bring cushions.
Nice, comfortable.
So you have a red boat here and then kind of a bluish green boat here. So we were not expecting these. So, it's actually kind of exciting. It's almost more exciting because there's nobody here except a handful of people. It's not crowded. To get to see this without too many people around. And I think these are like lotus flowers, and they will open up.
Yeah, and looking at the concept art, they will turn into fountains as part of the show, so that's pretty cool.
So it was really, interesting to see just how the floats will look during the day because, you're going to see them more at night, and they're going to be lit from within as well. Like when you see the tiger, a photo of the tiger, he's, I believe, blue. So that's very interesting. And also about the show, they say mystical hosts come to the river bearing gifts. I don't know what that means either. So there's
those
so
are the
much.
2 hosts they introduced during the webcast.
Right, but what's are the gifts these animals?
Right, well, we have to see the show to learn all this,
right.
Of course.
They haven't really said a lot about it yet. And so also, we've said 100 times, you got the live music, animal imagery, water screens. So it is kind of it sounds like an elaborate show. You're not looking at fireworks really because this is, you've got animals so close. Plus, there's a lot more going on at Animal Kingdom. Like they're going to have the nighttime safaris, and I don't know, that should be starting very soon too.
Right. Now, you mentioned live music. It won't be performed live, but it'll be a brand new soundtrack.
Live music played from the
Speakers.
tape deck.
Live music played from the speakers. I just wanted to correct that little
Live
part.
music. It's not Cirque du Soleil where everything's live. Right?
And here is a look at the concept art, and you can see sort of how everything is going to look. I can't wait. Only a few weeks away. Hopefully they'll announce a dinner package. I will definitely get that. We will get that. And so let's move on. Another big exciting thing. We're now at the Magic Kingdom for the big debut. Who is the big debut for?
This is Nick, Wilde, and Judy Hopps from Zootopia, who will not be meeting and greeting at the parks right now, except if you go to Disneyland.
That's right. They already started at Disneyland.
Yes, they started on the same day, but you can kind of dance with them and move it, shake it, and dance and play it. It used to be celebrate it, but there's no
dance and play, because you have to choose what song that you'd like the main song to be. And of course, everybody picks the Zootopia song.
Yes.
That won that first show. This is the actual very first performance with Nick and Judy that they did. So we were there bright and early, and it was very exciting. The crowd was really into it. I did notice that when Nick and Judy come off the floats, they don't really go very far.
They don't. They stay right at the float, and they sort of have like a ring of security around them, where, you can't really get too close. You can kind of dance around and watch them dance around.
Right.
But probably eventually, when they're not quite as popular, maybe that will be available.
It was only the first day, and of course, everybody was very much looking forward to seeing them. So I think they kind of kept it cool this time. And as you said, I hope that they will be more mobile.
You can kind of see like how everybody's
the ring,
back from them.
There's a little circle, but it's fine. And they let people come in and do the dancing thing. So, I mean, right now it looks like everyone's kind of watching, but in this case, Judy's going to pull some kids in and dance with them. So it's really good. It looks like a good time.
But I would like to meet. We've met them.
I've
met them. But I would love to see them as a meet and greet here. We're going to be getting Joy and Sadness this weekend. It's
this Saturday. Can you believe it? At Epcot, yes.
Only almost a year after the movie started, so maybe it will be a while.
Well, don't give up hope, though. You never know. I think these guys are very popular, and hopefully they will have a dedicated meet and greet very soon. Now, we should mention when these guys did come into the parade, Nick and Judy, of course, they displaced a certain Genie and a certain Stitch.
Yes, but Stitch is now meeting and greeting in Town Square.
That's right.
Stitch replaced Marie this weekend.
Are you keeping track of all this?
Although Rabbit replaced Stitch, who replaced Marie on Sunday.
That's correct. That is correct. What about the Genie? How does the Genie fall into all this?
I have no idea what's going on with the Genie.
The Genie does meet, I think, certainly at the Christmas party, maybe at the Halloween party, and he meets at Disneyland. Right. I'm just not quite sure what he does for here.
I don't know. We don't make into Adventureland all that much. But I was going to say, before we came out for this, I said, I wonder if Judy Hopps will be in the Easter parade, and we will see later whether or not
we'll see the answer to that very soon. So now we're moving on to Easter, and we're going to start off at the Contemporary Resort for more chocolate egg goodness.
Yep, and the other day when we had been there, they weren't out yet, so it's like, well, maybe they won't come out. But they have the biggest display ever of Easter eggs, and so we were very excited to get to see this. Some of the eggs are brought back from last year, but there's a lot of new ones this year, and they range. There's a lot smaller, some of them, than, let's say, at Disney's Grand Floridian, but some of them are also about that size.
And this one here was created from a first-time chef. The first year she did that.
Yes, she had never made an egg before, created that. So she did such a wonderful Lady and the Tramp.
And I love this with the Jim Henson himself and all the Muppets. What a fantastic job. So creative. I just love all these cast member created things.
Yes, and we met them also. That was Michael and Nancy. Nancy created the Lady and the Tramp, and Michael created that lovely Muppets egg.
Well, when we were over there, we were very fortunate. I happened to spot Jeff Barnes, Chef Jeff, and went over to him, and he was so nice to us, took the time out, and he insisted that we meet the other two chefs, and boy, what a great time.
Right, and there are 20, I believe, 20 pastry chefs who created, like, each one was able to make an egg, and I just think that's awesome. And you can see here, like, that Mad Tea Party, it's like a big cake. but that one has returned. I'm not sure how many years now, but I remember it from last year. And then you have the Frozen Fever egg here that is also from last year.
Now we have the Star Wars section coming along, and I really like this one with all the ships. And of course, this year they had to add BB-8 behind it.
The Millennium Falcon, this one is from last year.
Yes.
And then you have BB-8 is new for this year. So it's they have like dozens of eggs, and this is through April 4th.
I love it. It's sort of the space section because there's like a Wall-E there and
Marie.
And Marie. Well, you're ruining my whole thing there.
And
Baymax, you're getting very good care.
Yes, Baymax is from the last year or two. So it's actually really fun to see which eggs they decide to bring back and which ones will be new. Alice is, I believe, a returning egg. And then we also have Bing Bong, and obviously Bing Bong is from Inside Out, and that is a new egg.
And one thing we should mention about this is these chefs do this on their free time. They still have to make all the desserts. They do all the desserts.
Is that true?
That is true. Jeff was telling me they still have to do all the desserts for Chef Mickey's and the resorts upstairs, California Grill, that kind of thing. So they are very busy, and they just find time to do all this.
And then you have a Contemporary Resort one that is new, and you have Ariel there. Also new this year, you have, I believe new, is that chick with Chip and Dale fighting
I love
over
the Chip and Dale
apple.
with the Donald. And that kind of goes back to one of my favorite cartoons, Chip and Dale Donald with the apple core. And they're doing the whole thing with throwing the apple. So that was one of my favorites.
It reminds me of the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, and I with the apple there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's the same.
But they're not stealing
similar.
Mickey's lunch though. It's different. It's. I think that's more towards the short animated short.
And then you have a princess egg. We just really enjoy these because they're really works of art, and it can take them several days to make these.
Ratatouille there. You just spoke to the Emile voice not long ago.
Peter Sohn, director of Good Dinosaur, also voiced Emile and the animal collector. The animal pet collector in Good Dinosaur.
One thing that doesn't really go through with the video is how awesome it smells when you're here. It's just amazing with all that chocolate smell. So good. And you still have a chance, as you mentioned earlier, through April 4th to get over there and see these and the Grand Floridian as well.
Absolutely.
So this was Easter Eve. Now we're going to move on to Easter Sunday. Bright and early, we went to see some characters. And here is Mrs. Easter Bunny with a slight Polynesian flavor. You can see she has a little
like
Polynesian
a plant in her head.
Maybe it's a little palm tree fronds or something.
No, I don't know. A little something.
That is her Polynesian flavor. So they always add a little bit to the characters. You see Chip and Dale there with their leis on, and they were a lot of fun. I love Chip and Dale anyway, and especially on Easter.
And
I don't know what that shake is.
I'm not sure what
they keep doing that shake. Somehow we said that was the Happy Easter shake.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what we said anyway.
I think all of the deluxe and moderate resorts had characters. We popped on over to Disney's Grand Floridian. That's a tradition for us each year. I don't know if we'll do it next year. I'd like to try, change it up a little bit.
See some different characters. The big draw, of course, was Mickey and Minnie in their Victorian Easter attire.
And I think this is the second year for these particular outfits. They've worn other ones as well.
And these are great outfits. It kind of reminds me of their Christmas outfit, although Mickey doesn't have his same smoking jacket that he wears on Christmas Eve. But and of course, I had to give them a gift. I gave them a chocolate Easter egg, which I borrowed from a friend. But they were very happy.
You love props.
I love a prop. Yes. Next time we'll have to bring a rabbit or a cream egg.
I don't think so. But anyway, we really enjoy seeing the characters around the resorts. And here we see Mr. Easter Bunny. This is over at Disney's Contemporary Resort.
Yeah, what a nice, it's a great way to start your Easter Sunday. Not too crowded, at least this particular day. There was a threat of rain and all. But, and of course, as you mentioned, Mr. Easter Bunny, and we mentioned to him that we had already seen Mrs. Easter Bunny, so he was very happy. He thanked us for the information. Chip and Dale, I love those. Those are great outfits.
And we've already seen Chip and Dale, but they rushed over to Disney's Contemporary Resort.
They beat us. They took the boat where we took the monorail, you see.
And they have their,
Quick
their
change
tails.
Artists.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do that little Happy Easter tail shake. See, that's how chipmunks celebrate the Easter holiday, with the shake.
Well, I was asking to see their tails, which I just meant, of course, their tuxedo tails.
This was awesome. Rabbit, a very limited engagement, just a solo engagement of Rabbit.
Replacing Stitch, who replaced Marie. So Now it's back to Stitch again. And no Marie. I'm not sure if Marie's meeting anywhere in the Magic Kingdom or anywhere else.
It was great to see Rabbit, though. We did see him last year at Disneyland in an area that no longer exists. Remember?
Oh,
in the Big Thunder Ranch.
Yes, we did. They had some great. They had great bunnies there.
So this is our 7th year in a row of spending Easter Sunday in the Magic Kingdom, and we always love the Easter pre-parade. Happy Easter pre-parade, I say.
Jeff likes to call it. I don't know what the official.
I think the official name is the Happy Easter pre-parade.
It just says Happy Easter from the Magic Kingdom, so it's up for debate, but it's not that important.
So let's talk about the history of this pre-parade. I know you have some information.
And by information, I went back and I kind of looked over our old videos and articles. You have the Fantasia hippos here. They were actually brought in 2012, so they've not always been there. And the ostriches came in 2013. So it was just interesting. You didn't have all the Fantasia characters at one time.
And here's something that never changes. Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny in the classic vehicle, the old Walt Disney vehicle there.
Right, that is every year so far of the Easter pre-parade.
And the Azalea Trail Maids have been there ever since we've been going as well.
Yes, and you have Daisy here, and Daisy, she actually used to have a spring outfit. She did not have an Azalea Trail Maid outfit until 2013. So I thought that was very interesting. I had forgotten all about that. And the Azalea Trail Maids, it's every year they're different in that there are 50 high school seniors. So obviously you have different seniors every year. Mm-hmm. And they come from Mobile, Alabama, and they are... I mean, it's beautiful.
Look at how beautiful. I mean, this doesn't do justice. Just the colors when you're there. And the spot that we chose was perfect because it was sort of all around us. You saw those dresses. And each one picks out their own dress, I've been told.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I would think this is a huge deal for them every year. This must be really something special for them to be able to come, to Walt Disney World and do this.
We really enjoy it. I just can't imagine being anywhere else for Easter Sunday morning.
Right, and you have the butterfly and the flowers here, and they also came in 2013. So, if you look back like 7 years, it's very different.
Last year, they started meeting on the green, that new little area.
Right, in the hub.
In the hub, so you can actually get a picture with them. And here is Thumper and Mrs. Thumper.
Well, Miss Bunny.
Miss Bunny. Miss Bunny.
They were kicked off the float this year.
Kicked off.
Now they are walking
the route. And who kicked them off?
Well, I'm not sure if it was Judy or Nick who kicked them off. I thought perhaps that Judy would be one of the bunnies during the parade, but then it's like, well, maybe not. But she and Nick are here. I'm not sure what a fox is doing in an Easter
I'm
parade.
not quite sure. Well, let's talk about the history of this particular float because there have been lots of characters up there in the past.
Well, they've had Abby Mallard and Chicken Little. Mm-hmm. Those were two that were there in, I believe, 2010 and 2011. And then eventually you brought in Rabbit, White Rabbit, Thumper, and Miss Bunny were kind of the four.
There was one year they had 6 characters up there.
That was one of the years when they had Abby Mallard and I had no idea. I've never seen Chicken Little.
You didn't even know who Chicken Little is.
I don't know.
We met Chicken Little, though.
Yes, but I've never seen it. So I thought Abby Mallard looked like Jar Jar Binks. And there is Clara Cluck, who also one time was in the gazebo and not in this. So maybe they were fixing this up.
Yeah, that's right. And Clara Cluck, that is the same float that we see every year, just like that, actually, at the Halloween, Mickey's Boo to You Halloween parade. So I love the parades. It's always very interesting to see how they change. And I gave you a little bonus of Nick and Judy.
We ran over here to get a better shot. And I believe the regular Easter Day parade ended it in 99. And I think there were a number of years they didn't have anything. And perhaps, I remember somebody saying the first year that we did it was the first year that they had kind of brought it back.
And that old parade was on TV. It was televised. I would watch it every single year. So it was kind of a tradition. Anyway, believe it or not, already that is another show.
That's another show. That's our Easter and
our
Rivers
Easter
of Light
edition.
show.
Well, we'll have a lot more excitement next week. We want to thank our sponsors, Maple Leaf Tickets for all kinds of attraction shows, you name it.
And Theme Park Connection, they are our original sponsor.
Thanks everybody for listening. A belated happy Easter and have a great week.
Have a great week.